Hey, come on in. Look, let me tell you this. My physical therapist told me to slow down when I was doing my exercises the last time I was in. And she said, I need to do them slower, at a slower tempo, so that the exercises could really do the work that it was supposed to do, right? And I realized I do everything that I really don't like doing or I really don't want to do fast or quick just to get it over with. I'm on a mission just to get through it. I even do it with my exercise sometimes when you're supposed to pull down slow, stretch the muscle, let it back up, feel it do its work. And there is a difference when you do, but not me. I just want to just pump it on through, just get through it. Because the faster I move, right, the faster it gets done. And I think that's exactly where you're headed into this summer. This summer, what it's going to do this summer. Head down, moving fast, get through it, make sure everything is good, right? And maybe, just maybe, you'll find 2 minutes on the other side. That fun side. Even the fun gets fast. Hey, I'm Michelle O'Neill, and you are here on Break Time Live with me today. And let's have that conversation. So, I wanted to have this conversation today because we're coming up on summer and I'm watching this month and what's going on, not just in my life, but in the lives of so many of my women. There are a lot of graduations going on, college and high school and middle school and everything. We're all progressing and moving some way. And if you have older children, they're getting ready to start college. And this is their last summer before they go off to college or just try to make it on their own, be a little different in their lives. And maybe you're trying to squeeze in one more big family vacation. The last activities that they need to do that y'all want to do together, the college shopping, the making sure you have everything for their room, the last things that you need to do to make sure that they're registered correctly. And you want to do these things together because, well, it is their last year, maybe their last year home. And you want to do it before anything changes. And all of this is happening now, right now. It's starting now. I know that for me, my granddaughter, I have her list of things that she wants for when she goes to college. And I am so excited about it. But it also means she's going to be away a little bit, right? And then we have Memorial Day. Memorial Day is coming. The 4th of July is coming. There's celebrations. There's cookouts. There's family coming to visit you. You're going to visit family. Phew, I am tired already. And I know you. You have already started making plans, right? It's probably already on your calendar. June, it's full. At least mine is. July, you're starting to look at it and starting to fill that out. And then you're already thinking about August because you got to start planning for that next year of school or when you start going back or whatever it is, getting your child ready and getting yourself ready for whatever's next. And somewhere in all of this, you have to figure out your off days, when you can take off. If you're working, when can I take off? When can I plan my vacations? Did I put in enough time? You know, when am I going to make sure that I'm available? And that the fact that you've got to work in between all of this. So it's like I got to plan my fun and I got to plan my work. And so you're already doing the math. You're already managing the overlaps and you just seem to be the one that's elected to handle it all, whether it's self-elected or elected by everybody that's around you. So let me ask you this. Did you ever ask yourself why? Why are you the one that's doing all of it? Why are you the one that's doing the emotional labor, the thinking labor? Why are you the one? And I want to give you something to think about because the answer may surprise you. It may not be that nobody else will do it. Did you ask them? Did you even consider that? It may be that you actually like doing it. And this will surprise you because a lot of times it's not because you want the task and the headaches that go along with it, because you're the one that's planning it all. And when you're planning it all, you don't have quite as many headaches as when other people are in the mix with you. When you're the one checking the hotel, confirming the reservations, thinking through who eats what, who doesn't travel well, who needs to be here, who needs to be picked up, who can't sit next to who at the graduation dinner, when you're the one holding all of that, you have control. Yeah, you heard me right. You have control. Phew, that's a good thing, even through all of that. And you know, nothing is going to fall through because you're doing it. You know that you're going to be the way, you know, things are going to be the way that you like them. And there's a sort of comfort in that, knowing that everything's going to be okay because you're handling it and you know exactly every move. And so you do it. That's why we do it. Not because we were asked, not all the time, but sometimes yes. Or, but maybe it's because somewhere in all of this, it just became yours because you are the one that take these on because you do like that control. And having it be yours means at least you know what's going to be handled and what you handed off, right? But get this, when something does go wrong in the middle of all that, and something always seems to go wrong, right? We always have some hiccups along the way. You don't fall apart, at least not outwardly, because you even thought about what if this didn't go wrong, right? What do you do? What you actually do is, I was thinking the other day, what does it look like when we do this? And what you actually do is you switch tracks. And that's the best way for me to describe what's happening. So think of this. I love train rides. There's something calming about those too. And you know how a train, when something is about to go wrong, maybe a derailment or whatever, somebody somewhere along the way, they look at the track, and if there's any place to do it, they avert it to another track. And it's about pulling a lever, and the train automatically moves to the next track. And that's what you're always looking for. You're always looking, is there a place to avert this train wreck? And what's the lever that I have to pull? That's you. You feel the problem coming, you calculate how many seconds that you have, and you pull the lever by yourself. With everything that you have, you pull that lever, and the train keeps moving, and nobody in the car even felt the shift. They don't even know the physical toll that you went through, the emotional work that you went through, the thinking that it took to know exactly that second to pull that lever. But you felt it, and you always feel it. And nobody, I mean, absolutely nobody, usually knows how angry or frustrated you are in that moment because you're doing it alone. And they might see a little of it because we can't always hide it, but not the full weight of what is actually happening because you're managing that too. You let just enough out so that it doesn't show and that you don't blow. You know what I mean? You know, you gotta say something, but you don't want to just let everything that you feel out. And so you swallow the rest. That's bitter swallow. And I want to ask you something. And I want you to be honest with yourself, not with me, but with yourself. When the summer is over, when everybody is back home, the vacation photos are posted, the graduation is done, the cookouts are finished, at least for a little bit. I like those fall cookouts too. How are you going to feel? Because what I hear most of the time is, oh man, I had a great time. I enjoyed myself, but it was a lot of work. Does that sound like you? Do those last, what, 6 or 7 words come out of your mouth? But it was a lot of work. And then you come home after all the fun is over. And there's the unpacking and the washing and the putting everything away and the getting back to normal, which is also a lot of work, right? You're like an Instapot. I just looked at mine the other day and I thought I hadn't used it in a while, but you're like an Instapot. The whole time, the pressure is building just enough to release it. You just slide that lever over just enough to release some of that anger, but you're never fully depressurizing. Tell me this. Am I describing anything in you here? There's no shame. This is just reality of our lives and what we go through a lot of times. So, in the middle of all that, the planning, the switching tracks, the swallowing, what do you feel you're actually missing? Because I know that's probably popped up in your mind somewhere. I think we're missing life. Actually, I think we're missing what it even means to just be. I don't even know if any of us know how to freely enjoy life anymore without completely, what do I call it? Disengagement. And that's not what we want. We don't want to disengage from our lives. We want to be a part of our lives. But have you noticed how everything has a purpose now? Everything. I mean, absolutely everything. You go to a fundraiser, there's a purpose. You go networking, there's a purpose. You go to church, there's a purpose. A good purpose, I hope, but there's a purpose. Even your fun has a goal. We don't just have fun for the sake of fun anymore. Have you noticed that? Even when you sit down to do something that's supposed to be enjoyable, it's still structured. It's still going through still going somewhere or going through something. It's still against or what do you call it? A friendly competition against someone for something, to build something, towards something. Are you tracking with me here? Does this sound like your life? And I always joke around that this is no longer the Little House on the Prairie days. And I didn't even like that show. Forgive me. But it was simpler. And I get it. I love advancement. I love changing and innovation and all those things. But when I was growing up, we went outside and we played. Oh my gosh, did I just say that? I sound like my dad or my mom. Get outside and play. We stayed outside for hours running, playing kickball, dodgeball, hide and go seek, just being outside. Nobody called us in until the street lights came on, and our brains got to breathe. Our bodies were moving and our mind was just off duty. A lot of times there was no strategy or trying to figure it out. It was just dodge the ball, just have fun. None of that is happening anymore. And really, I'm sharing this for a reason. When is the last time you did something with absolutely no purpose? No networking, no building, no checking on anyone, no outcome. You just existed. You just did. What's that? Right? Did you ask yourself, did that question pop in your head? What in the world is that? I know it sounds a bit dismal, but here's why I'm harping on it. There is actually something that happens when your body is physically engaged in something low stakes. When you're doing something that doesn't really require you to engage mentally. Something that you don't have to, that doesn't require you to actually solve anything or decide or manage, but you're just doing the physical activity. Your brain actually gets to repair itself. That's what's happening. It gets to restore. Our minds can't be problem solving mode and restoration mode at the same time. It has to choose which is going to be. Am I going to be problem solving or am I going to restore? It has to decide. And right now, most of us are choosing problem solving. Walking outside does something for me. And I've learned this. And I've learned it at first, not even really aware of what was happening, but realizing how I felt when I came back. There's something that happens when my body is moving and I'm not trying to get anywhere or figure anything out. And I think for the everyday, we've lost that. We've lost that ability to do movement and not also try to problem solve and figure things out. Not just the activity, but the permission to do something that goes nowhere. When's the last time you've done that? When is the last time that you gave yourself permission to just be, to not figure anything out, to not solve a problem? I want to ask you, can you remember that last time? And you know what? I'd love to know. I mean, I'd really like to know if you can remember. I hate to say this, but we're almost halfway through the year. And that hit me yesterday. Halfway through the year. And for me, I know everything I had planned, where I should have been by now. June is just about here. And whether you're thinking about it consciously or not, you feel it. Something in you has already done the math, like I just did. Look, you made some promises to yourself this January. I know I did. You had some things that you were going to do this year. You had goals, you had dreams, you had planned it out. If you're like me, it's even on your calendar. Each month you have these road maps, these things that these what do they call them? Where you're supposed to track what you went. I can't figure it right now, and I'm not going to spend time trying to figure it out. This was going to be the year. this was going to be it. And I'm not saying this to discourage you, because I want you to look back and also see that what you've done. I want you to look back, not at what you didn't get done, but what you have done. Because I can just about bet you've done a lot. But if you're honest with yourself, what you've accomplished and what you set out to do, they're not matching up. In fact, in some ways, they're far apart. And in other ways, maybe at least you got halfway or three-quarters of the way. And that's great. But even if you got a fourth of the way, that's great. Because your movement was forward, not backwards. And that gap, that space between what you planned and what actually happened, if you're honest, that's weighing heavy on you right now. Whether you've accomplished things or not, it's still weighing heavy on you. And almost, in your vocabulary, doesn't count. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't count as your wins because you're so focused on what you didn't get done that you're discouraged. And you may even be at the point of asking yourself, do I keep going? Is this even worth it? Do I give up? Or right now, maybe, do I even try? But this is what I know in my heart of hearts. This is what I know about you. You're not willing to let that dream grow. I'm sorry, go. You're not willing to let that dream go. You're not. You still want it. You still desire it. And so your answer is not to do less. Your answer is, I just need to figure out how I can fit it in to my life. I need to find a way to make this work. I need to do what I want to do and take care of everyone else at the same time. And I just got to figure out. It's just a matter of planning it out. And I get that. Because you've always found a way. You've always made it work. You've always fit it in somehow. And yes, I say we've always made it work because we've always found a way. Because you're not alone in this. So it is almost inconceivable to you, and a lot of times to me, that this may be a season where you genuinely cannot do both at full capacity. Look, you're planning a graduation, you're coordinating a vacation, you're managing a family, you're building something. You are working, you are checking on your parents, you're switching tracks every time something goes wrong. You are swallowing what you can't say, and now you're trying to figure out how you can squeeze 6 more months of goals into a life that is already full. And the reason you can't see clearly right now, the reason the resentment feels impossible is not because you're not smart enough or not strong enough or not capable enough, because you know you are. And anyone that says you're not is a liar. It's because you're so deep inside of what's going on that the view from where you're standing doesn't give you the full picture. You can't see what you can't see from the inside. And that may just be where you are right now. You can't see what you can't see from the inside. I know that was a lot. And when I was writing this, when I was thinking through this, when I was making notes, I thought, this is so heavy. But I wanted you to know that I see you. And it's not all lost. It's not. And I know that. And I want you to know that. I've been watching and listening and hearing. And I see my ladies taking vacations, going on cruises, taking trips, getting away. And they come back and they're still exhausted, still running, still behind. So they fall back onto that same treadmill. Maybe not at first, but as the months go by, eventually it starts up again. And sometimes it's just weeks. And it's not because the trip wasn't good or that you didn't have a good time. It's because they took themselves with them. I want you to stew on that one and think about that one. The Instapot went on vacation too. Still building pressure, still managing, still switching tracks, just in a different location, but still doing a lot of the same things. The trip isn't the problem. You can go anywhere in the world, anywhere, and still be operating at full capacity because you never actually stopped. In fact, I've heard these words, I don't know how. And I'm not saying any of this to make you feel worse. I'm saying this because I want you to know it really doesn't have to be this way. It's not another plan that's going to change it. I think you've tried just about all of them. And it's not a better calendar or a smarter system or one more tool. Because you're already good at all those things. I bet you could probably run circles around me. But that's not what's missing. What's missing is this: stopping long enough to see, not fix it, not plan it, not figuring it out. Just stop. Stop long enough to actually see what's happening, to see the full picture from somewhere other than inside of it. And that's hard to do alone. It's hard to see clearly when you're the one holding everything together, when you're the one switching tracks and swallowing what you feel and planning and managing. You don't get the view from the outside because you're inside. You just get the next thing. And that's what the undivided is built for. Not to do something else on the list. Not one more thing to do, to learn, to figure out. But to be the first place where you can finally stop long enough to see. I worry about you because I see you in a lot of ways. And you know what? In a lot of ways, I'm you. Look, I'm going to drop the link in the comments. And if any of you felt like this was your life today, let's talk. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.